sensational. I was watching the game last night, and I'm like, we're kind of playing another dud tonight overall, but a good end-to-end game. And you just got this feeling that the Lightning are going to figure out a way to win. They're going to figure out some way to win. And what do you know? They did exactly that as they come back to win the game last night, 3-2 in the final 2 minutes, and away we go. Nick Geddes is here with me this morning, and while I figure out what's going on with my computer, my friend, you can talk a little bit about the story we were just chatting about, which was there we go. That worked out just fine.
I think you figured it out finally.
Wow.
Little tech guy there. Huh?
I had to go back door there and do a little workaround. I'm kind of proud of myself, to be quite honest. So how are you, sir? You were writing some stuff for Outkick.com, and a lot of stuff going on in college football. We're going to have my favorite University of Miami guest on, John Michaels, who used to do work for UM, and my former colleague doing mornings at 680 The Fan in Hotlanta. So he'll join us, big UM fan, obnoxious UM fan. That's why I wanted to get him on. They've gone all in with Cristobal and Dan Radakovich, their AD. My guess is they're gunning for an on-campus stadium or do something to change the atmosphere at their games. USF looks like they're absolutely freight train running down the tracks to a new stadium of their own. I think I've changed my tune on that now. I think it's probably
coming around to it a little bit.
Well, what they're doing ain't working. What they're doing ain't working. They can't get people to Raymond James Stadium. I don't know if they're going to fill a $250 to $400 million stadium they're going to be building on their campus, looks like. But hey, you know what? It ain't my money. It ain't my money. And if they can get, the state to pay for most of it, or however they're going to pay for it, probably put it on the backs of the students and add a little something on the tuition. We'll see. But what's going on at the University of Florida? Well, Billy Napier's going out and
scared money don't make money is what we were told.
Yes.
From Billy Napier. But this is a big story going around today. This morning, or last night rather, their top quarterback recruit, Nick Evers, who's from Texas, top 70 player in this class, decommitted from Florida after Billy Napier had an in-home visit with him yesterday morning.
That is not a good sign.
No, it is
not.
That
is not a good sign. And their class is that wasn't highly ranked anyway has just been destroyed. I mean, they're losing commits right and left. This is not a good sign, especially when Miami loading up, Florida State certainly on the comeback trail, and their recruiting class is getting better and better. And oh, by the way, Max Johnson just entered the transfer portal. The son of one Brad Johnson, good friend of the show, and he has a brother named Jake that is, and I know you hear the Little Gronk tab go around a lot. This dude is legit, Little Gronk. He is the number one ranked tight end in the nation, and freaking the guy's a game changer. And pretty sure that's a package deal. Now, obviously, the Florida State faithful are very excited. All I can say is, from what I've heard, be excited. Be excited. Now, Jordan Travis has one more year as the starting quarterback, but if you can get Mac Johnson and Jake, you move Jordan Travis to receiver or running back or wherever you got to move him. He becomes, without question, it's there, but he played pretty damn well in the SEC, and in a bad situation with Orgeron leaving. So chances that Mac Johnson comes to FSU, I think, are pretty good, and bring his brother in tow.
Yeah, it makes sense, obviously. I'm thinking here because you want Mac Johnson. If he wants to go somewhere out, he wants to play, obviously. We were very high on Jordan Travis for the way he played this year.
Unbelievable. What a gamer.
Everything considered.
Carried
that team, got better and better as the year went on, has one more year of eligibility. A.J. Duffy, from what I've heard from everybody's following the recruiting trail, is good enough to where he could walk on, and it wouldn't surprise anybody if he started. That's the feel that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it matters because Trevor Purdy left because he wasn't getting an opportunity to really play. Maybe some of that was his doing. I don't know. That's the worst case scenario, is you stack a quarterback room to the point where A.J. Duffy then is like, well, I'm never going to play, and then he leaves in 2-3 years. That's what I'm looking at here. But Max Johnson, like you said, has been there, done that 1 year in the SEC, albeit, but he was pretty darn good.
And I've heard from a lot of people that Chubba Purdy's dad was a pain in the ass, and him leaving was not. And you know what's funny? As soon as he entered the transfer portal, he would have started against NC State. Would have started probably a couple of games down the stretch. Probably would have come in for Jordan in some situations. You never know what transpires there. You go out and you beat NC State and throw for 350, which you're not going to do with that group of receivers. But whatever, he's gone. And now suddenly there's an embarrassment of riches for FSU at the quarterback spot. A lot of different, but you got to, it's a very, very delicate balance for Mike Norvell. You don't want to piss off Jordan Travis. You don't want to piss off all his teammates, that are supporting him. You don't want to piss off AJ Duffy. I mean, it's tough. You got to pick your guy and ride him, because once you pick him, then there's a good chance you're going to lose the other ones.
Yeah, and that's what I love, the transfer portal. I'm not a transfer portal hater. It helps when coaches are moving left and right.
Hell yeah.
Players have every right.
Yeah,
but it does
go where you can play.
It does put a lot of pressure on a head coach when you stack a quarterback room 3 deep with guys who can all play.
Right,
and
you can play anywhere.
Exactly, because you can't do the whole revolving door like FSU tried to do at the beginning of the year. It's not going to work.
No, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, but it's better to have a lot of horses in the stable than none. And right now it looks like, and don't forget, the Florida Gators have, they got AR-15
for now.
But if he leaves, what the hell do they got? I mean, I'm not real familiar with their quarterback roster, to be quite honest, but
it ain't deep. And from what I know now, I think with Evers decommitting, they're down to 10 commits in this class. Just 10 commits. There hasn't really been anybody commit yet since Billy Napier has gotten to Florida. Oh, it's a little different. Lincoln Riley's going to have more pull, but he's already pulled in feels like half the class from Oklahoma.
Yeah, as soon as he went to USC, they filled up the coffers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look. I mean, you got to say that a week into the Napier regime, this is not going well. It's not going well. And look, you got to get your guys in there. I get it, but look, the bottom line is, if you're going in and like Mike Norvell goes in to talk to these guys, he's getting guys. He is very well received. I haven't seen, they've had some decommits. They've had some guys enter the transfer portal, but most of those guys weren't playing anyway. They weren't. I think 7 players have entered the transfer portal. I mean, you look right now at the state of football, and we're going to talk Miami here in a little bit with John Michaels. You look at the state of football in Florida right now. It's amazing how it has shifted in less than a year. I mean, Dan Mullen was on top of the heap. I mean, he's 2 10-win seasons. They were on a roll. I mean, we're talking about them beating Georgia this year and maybe, getting to the national championship game. And look at how that freaking just completely just train wrecked. And now you've hired Billy Napier. You're paying him $7 million a year. I didn't realize his salary was that high. My God, it's $7.5 million. And he goes and talks to your quarterback recruit, and the guy decommits later on that night. In the press conference, what did I say about the press conference? You're sitting there reading from a prepared statement. Did you see Cristobal yesterday?
Yeah.
And we'll play a little bit of that. Was he reading off a prepared statement?
No, he was not.
No, he was not. It's very inspiring.
You wanted to run through a wall for that guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's very inspiring. Mike Norvell's, speech at before the Gator game. I mean, that went viral. He's had a few of those moments. I mean, you got to have charisma. Billy Napier, I'm like, he's the joke of the internet right now. That's not good.
Yeah, and we specifically speaking of Miami, we went on this show last week and said this program's dead. They're never coming back.
Yeah,
things change in a week, and I'm not anointing Miami that they're going to come back or anything. But don't look now. But they got the best coach in the state, I'd argue. They got the best AD in the state, I'd argue.
Hey, we have the longest tenured coach in the state now, Mike Norvell.
It's crazy. He was on the hot seat about 2 months ago,
right?
But yeah, and they might have.
Where are the articles from the Times and other places comparing Willie Taggart and Mike Norvell now?
They might not even be in the archives anymore. Really? I think they were just taken off.
Can we get an update? No. Interesting. It's so interesting how this thing is so in flux, and the transfer portal has literally turned college football into a year-to-year deal now. I mean, you look at, hell, Florida State gets one guy from Georgia. He's the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. You want to talk about impact of the portal? I mean, you got quarterbacks going, from one place to another, winning national championships. It's No, I like it. I think it certainly has some downsides. Now, the other part of this, and this is something that's been very interesting that I've heard over the past couple of days. Travis Hunter took his visit to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I have very, very good sources on this one. He was offered an NIL deal for $250,000 a year at Georgia. A year. And so now Florida State has to match it. To be quite honest, they've got to match it. And this is where we're going with NIL. These universities now are putting together basically LLCs, for lack of a better term, to bring all of the alumni under like a certain umbrella and using their private dollars, their booster dollars to hand out NIL contracts in the names of endorsements and what have you. So, and this is all perfectly legal. So, I obviously, we've talked about this a lot this week. College football has got to do something about the NIL, or it's just going to spiral completely out of control. And we said this when they did the NIL. There has to be some regulations on this, not the NCAA regulations that they first came out with, which were completely ridiculous. But there has to be a cap. I think there needs to be a cap to what you can pay players. Of course, they'll probably be, circumvent that as well. But I think you need to do something to try and stop the arms race, because this is what's happening right now. Georgia's going all in to try to get Travis Hunter and break up the FSU class, and it's real money. I mean, that's real money. Now, Florida State obviously is going to get him some NIL deals, but, obviously Georgia will ramp it up, and then Alabama will ramp it up once more, and then Texas A&M will come in. So I don't know. It's kind of the wild, wild west right now, and there's good and there's bad to it, but this is what's going on. I mean, $250,000 a year. And you know what? Kid's worth every penny.
And he is.
If he stays healthy, he's worth every penny.
I mean, you're an 18-year-old kid and somebody's throwing that money in front of you. I mean, yeah, you can love FSU all you want. You can been committed for over a year and a half all you want, but that's a little because I know that FSU, you say they need to match that.
Sure they do.
Will they match it?
Yes, they will.
You think they are going to match it?
Yes, they are going to match it.
I hope so.
Some booster's going to step up and match it.
I hope so.
I know that for a fact.
Because we talked about it already, how FSU keeps acting like they're, poor, or
they're not.
Small school mentality. They need to get out of it.
No, they're going to have to. And this is the type of arms race you're going to see in the future. And welcome to the wild, wild west. The money's but isn't it interesting when the NIL opens up, suddenly they find all kinds of money for the players. When it comes down to, are they going to come here or go there, and you're allowed to give them money in the form of NIL, isn't it interesting how they find the money? Shocking development. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll find. Speaking about money being thrown around, we'll go down to the University of Miami. Actually, we'll go up to Atlanta and talk to John Michaels, who does mornings at 680 The Fan up there. Big U guy, worked at the U, covered the U. And as obnoxious a you guys you'll ever, that's why I love him. He is the epitome of the University of Miami fan. Always has some good information. So we'll chat with him next.
Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Is your health care way too expensive? Well, with the new Biden administration, health care laws have changed dramatically. Now you can get health care insurance through the Affordable Care Act for little or no cost to you. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. Great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Absolutely love them. I'm paying $600 less after making the call. 877-652-0244. The representative will walk walk you through the whole process. Just get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. They know all the intricacies of new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. This opportunity will not last long, and you'll have to wait till 2022 to get the deal. So give them a call. It's real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244. 877-652-0244. Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. We didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not. Saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. We didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, to 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Travis again. And he got in. Touchdown Seminoles.
That's how it ended as Florida State came back with completing a 4th and 14 to beat the U this year in Doak Campbell Stadium, a signature win for Mike Norvell. And that was just a special present for my good friend and former colleague, John Michaels of 680 The Fan in Atlanta, the biggest and best UM fan I know. What's up, partner? How are you?
You had to bring that up. That was my actual birthday. But the sadder part is what you said, that's the signature win in the Mike Norvell era. I don't feel as bad when you say stuff like that.
I think we all just want to get back to being nationally relevant, right? I mean, I want to see Miami back so we can have these discussions and they actually mean things, because there's people in Alabama and Georgia just laughing at us right now, right? We want it to be back the way it is. And I'll be damned if Miami didn't finally step up and do something about it with the hiring of Mario Cristobal. I could hear you screaming from 1,000 miles away, my friend, when this whole thing went down. just tell me, what is the state of Miami football right now after this? And not insignificant was them pilfering what I think is the best AD in college football, and Dan Radakovich from Clemson. So this dynamic duo, if you're an FSU fan or Florida fan, watch out. Miami's back. Your
I'm going to
thoughts?
tell you, JP, it was called euphoric. That's how the state of Miami fans are. You've known me for 15 years. You know I live and breathe and die orange and green. My son's name is Kane, so that lets you know where I'm at. I have been so disgusted with the program, really, and it's gone back to Al Golden, but Manny Diaz took us to depths that were unfathomable. Losing to an FIU, losing to Louisiana Tech, losing to Duke and Georgia Tech, and no offense, but to this year's Florida State team.
Yep.
It's just utterly ridiculous. To go hire a proven commodity. You know, Miami hadn't hired a guy from another Power 5 school since Dennis Erickson back in 1988 when Jimmy Johnson left to go to the Dallas Cowboys. That's the most, and I know Mark Richt, they hired him. He had been fired. He didn't have a job. You went and hired a proven commodity, and for once, put their money where their mouth is and open up the purse string. I'll tell you right now, mark this, Miami will win a national title in the next 5 years. They will win the whole damn thing the next 5 years.
Well, let me just say this. I still think you have a huge problem with your game day atmosphere, and I don't know if that changes with this hiring. And I not yet, obviously, but is there even room for an on-campus stadium there? What is the plan? And to me, that's why they hired Radakovich, to figure out how to do something like that. Is that something they're talking about?
On campus, no. There is absolutely no room in Coral Gables. And anybody that's been to South Miami, which is where Coral Gables is, the zoning down there is ridiculous. People are living on top of each other. And it's obviously premier real estate. Now, there's a guy by the name of John Ruiz, a high-powered attorney, who came up with some algorithm for medical billing, who's now going to be worth about $30 billion. The report came out a couple of days before Mario Cristobal was hired. John Ruiz wants to build a 50,000-seat stadium somewhere in Coral Gables. Go back to what I originally said. The problem becomes, where do you build this stadium? I don't know that he can build it right by campus, but there's even talk now that maybe they do something adjacent to Marlins Stadium where the old Orange Bowl was, where it's a lot easier and the land is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Right now, Miami's got a super stadium in Hard Rock Stadium, which is great.
Yeah.
But it is a 45-minute drive from students. But, JP, here's what I'm going to say. You're an FSU guy. FSU's got, 30,000 undergrads that are going to school every day?
On campus. Yeah, on campus.
Yeah. So it's very easy on game day to walk over to Doak Campbell Stadium with 30,000 plus all the people that live in Tallahassee.
Right, and the people that come from around the state. Grand. Yeah, exactly. So with
only 10 grand, even an on-campus stadium, Miami still relies on guys like me, sidewalk alum, who are going to go to games.
Mm-hmm.
I think you stay at Hard Rock until you can find a legitimate place to build, then build it. You know as well as I do. You win, people will show up.
Yeah, that is a difference in Miami. You're not, the on-campus thing, we're dealing with the same thing here at USF. And they don't have a lot of students on campus. I think they have 43,000 students, but not a very small percentage of them live on campus. Whereas, these places, and this is kind of an endemic advantage that Georgia has, and Alabama has, and Florida has, and Tallahassee, Florida State has. These are small cities that depend on these huge brands, and these people come from all over the world to go to these games. But it's the only game in town. In some places, the only game in the state in Alabama, and it's just a different thing. And you can create this atmosphere. Whereas in Miami and in Tampa, you're competing with the Marlins, the Dolphins, the Heat, the Rays, the Lightning, the Bucks. It's a totally different animal. And Miami was able to do it back in the day because we all know what was going on down there. And it was just a different thing. And I don't know if they can ever recreate that whole thing. But there's something special about the U. There just is. That brand, although it has been tarnished tremendously like FSU's, I think it still can live if they can create some type of game day atmosphere that they just don't have right now. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for Cristobal.
We could argue 2001 may have been the greatest college football team in the history of the game. Right? That Miami's 2001. They averaged 46,000 fans that year.
I know.
In 2001, where they were the greatest team. So even going back to the Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson days, Miami never sold out every game. The difference was, and this is the good and the bad about being on TV the way that we are now. In our day and age, and I sound like an old man now in my late 40s.
Right.
In our day and age, you only saw Miami and Florida State on TV when they played great teams. So the atmosphere was great. There were sold-out crowds. When Miami played Temple or TCU or anybody else, there were 40,000 people tops
if that,
for the best team in college football. You're never going to get a sold-out stadium week in and week out. What they need to get, though, is about a solid 45,000 where Hard Rock Stadium doesn't look like, it's a cavernous, empty stadium. And then on big game days, you sell it out. When Florida State comes to town, when they play, Clemson or Virginia Tech, those are the games you got to sell out. Hopefully the excitement of Mario Cristobal brings some of that back.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole key here. He's going to recruit. They're going to, he's going to X and O it. They're going to have all that, but you still got to be able to get those top level recruits and create that atmosphere. And I think that's always going to be Miami's challenge. And like I said, with all those issues there in the competing, I'm not sure that you can really do that. Florida State can, Florida can, these other places can. I mean, even Florida State's having attendance issues. When you're that bad, nobody's going to come to the game. But I think they can still recreate that. And I don't know if Miami can. I mean, I still think that's going to be his challenge. So, and I think Radakovich, if anybody with the money you were talking about with Ruiz and the new health center they have there and the money they're making, they're going to have an ability to do that. And I think that's probably where they're headed. But in the short term, what does it look like for Miami? I mean, we were talking about Florida and Napier's visiting recruits and they're decommitting. not good. But the short term, what does Miami's future look like? What do they have now and what do they got coming in?
I think it's really good. One thing I can say for Manny Diaz, he did leave a very stocked young cupboard. The Athletic just put out their freshman All-American team today. Our quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, was a second-teamer. Our safety, James Williams, a second-teamer. Leonard Taylor, a defensive tackle, a first-teamer. They had guys on the freshman All-American team. Miami's got a lot of good pieces there. I just thought they were coached very poorly. And to go to the recruiting side, Manny Diaz only had 8 commits.
Wow.
Going a week away from signing day. Mario Cristobal yesterday does his introductory press conference, meets with people. He then goes to Miami Central High School with 6 of his assistants. He then does 3 in-home visits for uncommitted guys. This morning, he went to the number 1 defensive end in the state of Florida, Shamar Stewart's house, and now he's flying to Texas to try to flip 2 kids that he had 5-star offensive linemen that were on the hook at Oregon that decommitted the second he took the job at Miami. He is a recruiting monster. He was 2 times National Recruiter of the Year, once under Nick Saban, once for his own time out at Oregon. This guy's going to get players. And this is the indictment for all 3 of the schools in Florida. And I don't throw Central Florida in there. They're the little brothers that wish they were on our level. Of the top 10 guys right now on 24/7's recruiting, only one of them is committed to Miami, Florida, or Florida State.
Unbelievable.
That is an unmitigated disaster for those 3 programs.
Yeah. Well, at least you could say Miami, Miami doesn't have the facilities even close to some of these others. So they have a bit of an excuse, and that's going to change drastically in the next few years. And Cristobal can sell that. And people will believe it now, because they see the money that's going out there. And NIL is a totally different thing. Now, I got this. This is like great sourcing on this. Travis Hunter went to University in Georgia, was offered an NIL deal, $250K a year to flip from Florida State to Georgia. He's not going to flip, but Florida State's got to match that or come close to it. And this is where we're headed. And if Miami's got deep pockets now, which it appears that they do, and they're willing to spend it, then that's where this is going. And Miami can become a very sexy place when you start throwing money in kids' pockets. Because again, let's go back to the 80s, 90s, and early aughts. And that can work. It changes the game.
It absolutely can. Well, and think about it. Think about the 2 big city schools in college football and how they have fallen off. Miami and USC are almost mirror images on each coast. What happened? They both went cheap with head coaches. They didn't really invest back in the program. They both fell off.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, the same year, one goes Lincoln Riley, the other goes Mario Cristobal. How awesome is that if you can get USC and Miami back in the game? And the NIL is absolutely a game changer.
Yeah.
I want to give you one more nugget on financials that was released today. It's one thing to spend $8 million a year on your head coach. Where Miami's notoriously also been cheap is staffing the program. They have told Mario Cristobal he will have an $8 million per year budget for assistant coaches.
Wow.
That'll be the highest in the ACC, surpassing Clemson. They're now playing big boy football again.
It's a game changer, no doubt about it. Money talks. John Michaels, 680 The Fan. Tell everybody how they can get your content now that you've made these bold statements that we're putting on Twitter.
At John Michaels U. Very simple. You'll find me there on Twitter, on Instagram. I don't Instagram very often. You can listen Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., 680 The Fan in the ATL. I also write for State of the U. It's a University of Miami website. So you can find me there. Florida State fans, feel free. I talk trash with the best of them.
You are the
And it's
best.
funny, JP, real quick. I literally was telling a story about because people were all up in arms about Manny Diaz and how Miami treated him when they got fired.
Yeah.
And you were involved in this story. Remember how we got let go from 790 The Zone? Yet
Yes.
they made me, you, and Algie do a morning show, knowing at 10:01 they were firing all of us.
Yes.
I said, you want to talk about dirty business? That was dirty business. It doesn't just happen in college football.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, before you go, I got one last present for you. You ready? Ready for this?
All right.
Just one last present. Here we go.
Yeah.
Give it to him. 4th and 14.
25. Travis delivers. Caught! Parchment! Down to the 1!
There you go. That's good. A little 4th and 14 there for you.
I swear on my kids, when we get the stop on 3rd down and it goes to 4th and 14, I got a Miami group text. I said, if this idiot rushes 3, we're going to lose this game. What did we do? Rush 3, had 2 linebackers. They were just out there playing do-si-do, and corners that didn't know what the hell cover 3 or cover 2, nothing was. That's why that idiot's not a head coach anymore.
Oh, God bless you, my man. I'm glad the rivalry's back. This is what we love, man. This is awesome. Thank you, Johnny. We'll talk to you down the line. Appreciate it.
Anytime, JP. Good to see
buddy.
you. Good to talk to you.
All right. Quick break. When we come back, Bruce Gradkowski will join us. We're going to talk some Tom Brady MVP talk. Yeah. Yours truly certainly predicted that before the season's happening. Yep. Gradkowski joins us next. Stay with us.
JP here for Roof Max. And if you own a home or business with an asphalt shingle roof, listen up. Shingles are made from a petrochemical, just like the roads, so they get old, get brittle, and have to be replaced for tens of thousands of dollars. But not anymore. Remember this name, Roof Max. They have created a natural bio oil that is professionally sprayed on a dried out roof. It doesn't clean it, coat it, or seal it. It actually penetrates the shingle and brings back its bendability and weatherproofing properties to almost new. So the question is, does it work? Yeah, the research was done by Ohio State University independently, and it's clinically proven to work. It's guaranteed for up to 15 years. Now, one of the sharks on Shark Tank invested in this, so you know it's great, and they've successfully rejuvenated tens of thousands of roofs. So yes, it worked. So don't shell out 20 grand for a new roof. Call RoofMax at 352-559-9981 or go to roofmaxnorthflorida.com. That's 352-559-9981. Get it done for a fraction of the price of a new roof, guaranteed. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up come closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005. greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to the Black Rock restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, we are glad to welcome back the great Bruce Gradkowski to the show. He survived Disney with his young kids, which is a miracle. What's up, Bruce? How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, brother? I'm doing good. We did survive Disney. You know, I kind of pushed the kids to the limit. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram or Twitter, but I took Roman. Well, I took all three of them, my wife and I, to Disney. We had a good time. But the 8, 6, and 4-year-old, Lily, Roman, and Lincoln, we took them on a few of the roller coasters at Magic Kingdom, which I posted a video of us getting on this roller coaster. And he was going nuts, man. He just did not want to go on it.
Oh, no.
And
which one?
Oh, I don't think it was like the Thunder
Mountain Railroad. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. And he's going nuts. I don't think I've laughed harder. And then the next day, this is how awful prey I am as a dad. The next day, seeing his fear on that roller coaster, I take him on the Tower of Terror.
Oh, no.
And he's asking me a million questions in line. How fast is it? How long does it go? How many times do we drop?
He sounds like
some
me.
Tears with that.
Oh my God! And afterwards, he loved it.
Well, after like at the hotel, he's like, "Man, Dad, we should go back on Tower of Terror." Yeah. I was like, "Okay, cool. Do you want to?" And he's like, "Let me think about it.
No, but this is good parenting, man. This is good parenting. Let kids face their fears. They get over it, and then they love it. That's what life's all about. If you let them get away, then they'll be scared all their life, right? You got to show them that it ain't going to kill you. It's a little bit of adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You're going to be good. You're good.
Well, I was going to say a few things. There's one younger kid in line in front of us, and he was probably like 10 or 12. My son's 6. So he's telling my son, "Hey, man, it's going to be okay. I mean, it's not like you're going to die." And, it was pretty funny. But so on Twitter and Instagram,
I got to go check that
posted
out.
that video, and I just said, hey, there's more ways to test their mental toughness. I mean, this is where you got to teach them a little bit. Go to an amusement park, have fun with it, and see how mentally tough they could be. Do something that they're not really excited about doing and seeing how they feel about it.
So question is, did you get any crap on Twitter for that? Like, you are abusing your children. You're horrible.
I don't think I didn't look into look into detail yet, but most of the response on Instagram, people just cracking up.
Yo,
it's
absolutely.
just so funny.
That's the way. That's good. That's damn good parenting right there. Congratulations. Good job. Way to not knuckle under to the kids like, "Oh, I can't do it." Yes, you can. Yes, you can, kid. Watch this. And then I did that with my daughter, and it took. I'll be honest with you. It did take a little bit of a while, maybe a time or two to get her on. But once she got on Space Mountain, she wouldn't come off. She wouldn't come in. And same thing with all the rest of them. Once she got over her fear, she loved it. And
that's cool.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
That's what it's about. And then all the funnel cakes I ate, all that, the pictures with Mickey and Minnie. It was a good time.
Dude, we could do a whole segment on this, but we got to talk. We'll get to the rest of the Mickey and Minnie funnel cakes next week. All right. Well, as I predicted, Tom Brady's going to win the MVP. He's just the last few weeks, I think, have been some of his best football, even though and thank God I'm talking to you and not Sterling Sharp, who's talking about Brady has 10 interceptions, which is he's turning the ball over way too much. He's not good anymore. I mean, luckily we have PFF that does turnover worthy plays and doesn't just look at the numbers and actually looks at the tape. What did you think of his performance last week?
I thought he looked good. I mean, coming away from him, you talk about just what he has done so far this year. He has 30 big-time throws to only 7 turnover-worthy plays. So, I mean, he's got The most big time throws for us at PFF. I mean, he's second behind Carr. Carr has 34, Brady has 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then turnover-worthy plays, though, only 7. I mean, so
where does that rank?
He's doing with that.
Where does that rank? Turnover-worthy plays with 7.
Let me see. I'm going to at least, because I got some guys that haven't played much in the here. I'll just get them out of there.
Starters. That's got to be almost best, I would think.
Well, he's going to be up there. He's going to be at least top 5, which he's up there. I mean, he's a top 8, but I still have Tyrod Taylor and Jameis Winston, guys that haven't played a ton.
Yeah.
Geno Smith. So, I mean, 5, 6 turnover plays. Brady has 7. I mean, so just on the season, he's playing really good. This past week against Atlanta, I mean, honestly, to me, he looked a little jittery at times. He looked uncomfortable in the pocket, and then I come away from, taking a look at his game, and grading it for PFF, and I was like, man, they chucked the ball over the place last week, and
51 throws.
Coming away from it, I just thought he did a lot of good things, but also too, I could tell that he thought there was some pressure around him at times. And then, with him and Gronk hooking up, and it's just impressive because even if he looks uncomfortable at times, he still finds a way to get back into that rhythm and poise and make the necessary plays. I mean, because I've had a lot of discussions lately about the quarterback position, and guys are going to go through the ups and downs of a season, ups and downs of a career. But you think about Tom Brady. It's not like Tom Brady has ever come away from a season where he said, yeah, Brady just did not play well. I mean, we're looking at Russell Wilson right now from like calendar year. He's not been playing good this past year from the last half of the last season to the first half of this season. And I know with the finger and all that, but so I just think it's remarkable of how consistent Brady is and how he's playing. And just this team, I mean, you're playing an Atlanta football team that you should win. You go into Atlanta, it's not the prettiest. Brady throws that, pick 6 at the end of the half.
Yeah.
I mean, which didn't help. It spotted them 6-7 points.
Right.
But you just find a way to win. It doesn't always have to be pretty, but they're a good football team. And I think, with Brady and his mindset, that's kind of what he brings to the team. Look, it's not always going to be pretty, but we're going to win, guys. We're going to find a way.
Bruce Gradkowski joining us here, Pro Football Focus, former Bucs quarterback. What I was talking about this on Twitter during the throw he makes to Grankowski on the crossing route, the 27-yard touchdown, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That throw, I mean, you talk about ball placement. The ball placement to Fournette over the top of the linebacker, Deion Jones, who had great coverage there. Fournette makes a great one-handed catch. The ball placement to the other tight end, blanking out.
Yeah.
Cameron Brate, up
Brate,
high, perfect, his accuracy and ball placement. We don't talk enough about how important that is in the league. I mean, decision-making is great. His intangibles of leadership and all that stuff is fantastic. But at 44, the ball placement, the accuracy, the velocity, the timing, it's as good as he's ever been. And it is the most important thing a quarterback can do, right? I mean, that's it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when you have that rhythm and timing, I mean, it just helps in so many ways. It helps your offensive line. It helps with your accuracy. It helps with you knowing if you're holding on to a receiver too long or not. And, I mean, you talk about that first touchdown to Gronk. I mean, it just shows, too, like Gronk, even if he's lacking in some speed as he continues to get up in age, he's still so strong at the catch point. I mean, he's just such a big body coming across the field there, and Brady's accuracy, because it was pretty tight coverage.
Oh, it's right on.
Gronk is so strong, though, that Gronk doesn't lose his feet. There's receivers, there's tight ends, where you're battling like that in the middle of the field. You lose your feet, you stumble around, but the ball placement, the accuracy, and Gronk being strong enough to catch and get some yards after the catch and scoring, of course, was cool to see. And then him hitting on the fade and, but yeah, I mean, it's a great point about Brady and his accuracy, because some of those throws, I mean, he's throwing these guys open, which is cool. I mean, Cameron Brate on that touchdown pass, like where he laid it over. I mean, that was a beautiful ball. I mean, that's a perfect placement there to give your guy a chance. So accuracy wins, man. I mean, I'm watching these every throw every week, and that's where teams are struggling at times. Quarterbacks are struggling at times. I mean,
let's talk about Mahomes.
That's the difference between a completion or a first down
or a touchdown.
Or, like Gronk's the touchdown. So it's cool to see. And there's a few Brady missed as well. There's some miscommunications between, him and Gronk at the one time over the middle. Mike Evans won. So there was little stuff in this game. Like if I'm Tom Brady, I come away and I know the stats look really good, the yardage and all of that, 4 touchdown passes. But I'm still kind of frustrated. I'm kind of like, that just felt sloppy.
Yeah.
I guarantee Brady feels like, that felt sloppy. I didn't feel solid and comfortable in the pocket. I wasn't as accurate as I can be, normally am. But you still come away with the game like
4
that.
tutties, yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
Hey, and let's talk about Mahomes. And Collinsworth threw out a stat, I think, the other night. 38 off-target throws leads the NFL. Staggering statistic to me. And the other night was was Exhibit A. Dropping down and throwing sidearm when he doesn't have to. He just is completely lost his fundamentals. It looks like. What does it look like to you?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. At times, like Mahomes is so special, could do so much, and he has every different kind of throwing angle that you can want. But at the end of the day, too, that's what makes him inconsistent at times. And I see too with the receiving core that Mahomes, since he can extend plays, sometimes the receivers break off routes too soon or want to do the scramble drill. So at times that offense isn't in sync. But at the same time, they find a way, right? I mean, it's a team that, just like I was talking about with Tampa Bay at times. I mean, it's not going to be always pretty, but at the end of the day, you want to get that W. You want to know that you're getting better through the course of the season. So then when you get to the playoffs, now you're rolling. I mean, we're going to look at this Chiefs team. You got the Patriots playing well, but they're the Chiefs are falling into putting themselves in a nice little position.
Yep.
So
defense is great.
So yeah, I mean their defense playing well. So sitting at 8-4 with the Chiefs right now, it's not as pretty as they would like this year. I know Mahomes, definitely isn't playing up to par like we're used to seeing, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still capable of it.
Oh, of course,
and we're still waiting for that time for him to kind of explode, and the thing that kind of gets him in trouble at times, we talk about Tom Brady only 7 turnover-worthy plays. Mahomes has 16, and he only has 15 big-time throws. So that's the difference. I mean, you talk about Brady having 30 big-time throws. Mahomes only has 15. We're not used to seeing that, but now I know he's getting a lot of coverage, everything like that. So there's so much that goes into playing the position that you got to continue to play it the right way. Mahomes, you're getting a lot of cover 2. A lot of coverage out there. Just get completions, high percentage completion percentage each and every game. Protect the football, and those big plays will come.
Hey, before you go, you had to have some flashbacks watching the Buffalo game the other night in the wind from your day at the Meadowlands when there's Belichick threw it 3 times in a similar day. Gruden had you throw it what? How many times that day? When the wind was blowing about
47 or something. It was close to 50. It was close to 50. I think it was 51. But I was with that.
I think it was 51 or some ridiculous number in the same type of conditions, right? Did you have a flashback?
Yes, I did, because our guys at PFF, they're going through and they're grading the top rookie quarterbacks from 2006 till now, the top rookie QB seasons. And I joked around. I said, yeah, Gradkowski will be number 1 in 2006. And they were like joking around with some things. And I was like, look, man, I said, honestly, we played in New York. I said, it was windy as it was in Buffalo the other night. I throw it 50 times. Galloway and Michael Clayton dropped 2 big-time throws for me.
Oh, what a day.
Oh, man, I love Galloway's one of my buddies.
Yeah.
I can't believe he just turned 50, man. He's a good
great.
dude.
Yeah.
And Michael Clayton as well. So I really enjoyed my time with those guys. But looking back, I'm like, man, how do we throw it that many times in those conditions? I hate throwing in the wind.
Well, there was
you talk
10
about
guys
something
on the
you can't
line.
control.
There's 10 guys on the line. Gruden said, well, if there's 10 guys on the line, we got to throw the ball, even though it's blowing 60 miles an hour. I think the Giants threw it like 11 times that day or 10 times that day. It was
well, and how about that? You got Michael Strahan
Yeah.
and those guys coming after me. I'm a rookie. Like
they must have been going, dude, what are you doing? Why are you throwing the ball like this? Oh my God, that's fun. All right, brother. Appreciate your time as always. You're the best. Glad you survived Disney and the funnel cakes. We'll talk more about that next week. Thanks, buddy.
All right, my man. Thanks. Have
The
a
great
good week.
Bruce Gradkowski there. All right, quick break. When we come back, James Petrylka is going to join us. Ryan Nece is going to join us at 11:05, and looks like we got some more folks lining up as well. We may get Bobby the Chief Taylor on to talk some Lightning as well. So they just keep coming here on the JP Show. Stay with us.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. And I want to talk about the experience that you get at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's just different. First of all, when you walk in, there are one-of-a-kind collections that you won't find anywhere else. You'll see some of the best designers only at the Gold and Diamond Source. And every diamond is hand-selected by Steve for rarity, purity, and beauty. That's a big, big deal. He's an expert in the business, been doing this for over 30 years. So you're going to get the best diamonds at the best prices. They also offer in-house custom design jewelry. If you want to design something yourself, you can do that. And guys, are you looking for that baller watch, that great Rolex watch? They've got a fantastic selection of pre-owned Rolex watches for great prices. So go check them out. And every Gold and Diamond Source piece comes with the most elegant packaging, including lighted gift boxes. That's the new rage. That's going to wow your girl. So guys, get on down to the Gold and Diamond Source and get this rare experience. It's the best in the business. Tampa Bay's family jeweler for generations.
The steak on the 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood. Get to the Black Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right. He's the man and the crew that follows around the Miami Dolphins everywhere they go. From Fox Sports, the great James Petrylka from the booth joins us now. What's up, partner? How are you?
I'm good, JP. How are you?
Oh, we're good. We're good. How was your time in Miami last week? And the Dolphins are on a roll since you guys got on that bandwagon, man. What's going on?
I know. Yeah, they got hot. They were playing well.
They're 6
First
in a row
team
now?
ever to one of the first teams to like start 1-7, then win 5 in a row. The second team actually, but they're on a roll. Maybe it's us. I don't know. But
no question.
Fortunately for us, they don't have any more home games that will be on Fox. So.
Oh man, that's too bad. The Lucky Charm is rolling away. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So what do you see? What are you seeing from the Dolphins? Can they make a run now?
I think they can. Their defense is playing well. Their defense playing really well. Tua, is playing better. I think he's healthy again. Jalen Waddle is really playing well. He's a really good player. I think Gesicki, the tight end, is really good. So they have some weapons. I also think that
mentally, well, when you're losing, you're struggling. But the whole Deshaun Watson trade thing, I think that did, as much as they tried to downplay it, I think it did have an impact. Now that that's gone, it's over. At least they can concentrate on football, and they seem, more relaxed. And but yeah, they got. I think so. Their schedule is, fairly favorable. Favorable coming down the stretch. So I could see them making a run.
Wow, that would be incredible, and especially with the Patriots, what they're doing in that division right now. Do they have a game with the Patriots left? I haven't looked at their schedule, but I know they played them once.
I think they do. I think they have one left.
That'll be interesting. As good as the Patriots have been, and they're rolling. What do you think of what's going on there and with Belichick and that team? And that game the other night was a throwback, to be sure.
Yeah, that's quintessential Bill Belichick. Just do what you have to do, to win that week. And I think that that's one of the things that, with all the other, skills he has but the thing I think he's the best at is knowing how to approach each game, each opponent, and, being able to, can adapt to to the opponent they're playing, and then a situation Monday, like with the weather conditions.
Yeah,
I think he's the best at that, because some teams, they do what they do every week, and they adjust a little bit, per based on who they're playing. But I think Belichick is the best at being able to put together a game plan for each specific opponent and each specific situation.
Yeah, he's just the best at that. And I know I saw Sean McDermott after the game, just like, this is not about Belichick, blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, it is. He just beats you throwing 3 passes. That's just
right.
It's just the way it is. This week you got Seattle and Houston. The Texans are just awful right now, and Seattle gets a big win as Russ comes back and does Russ things, but it's been a down year for him. There's a lot of talk about him leaving. What do you think? What's going on with Russell Wilson? Where might he go?
Yeah, I have, early on, I thought they might, find a way to keep him there, but I really kind of think that this is going to be the end in Seattle for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because I think there's going to be a lot of teams that, contenders that, looking for a quarterback, with maybe with Pittsburgh, with Roethlisberger, probably
really
his last year, they still have, the Steelers have a good team in place. Maybe a team like the Saints, they, question with Jameis going to be coming back from injury.
Yep.
I think we've seen Taysom Hill's not a full-time, starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers could be out there. So I think it'll be interesting. But and I wouldn't be shocked. Now, I think we'll find out a little more this week after we talk to them and see them. But, I wouldn't be shocked if this is Pete Carroll's last year. If, it's,
he's 69,
they
right?
decide to just, start over. But it's interesting. It's funny. I was just looking at, doing my prep today, and Russell Wilson, 33 years old, 10 years.
Wow.
It's hard to believe that it's been that long. But yeah, this could be, the end where they just decide to, start over.
You got to wonder what, how much Russ has left. I mean, they'll say, well, Brady's 44. Well, two completely different players play a different game. Mm-hmm. Russ has always really relied on his athleticism to be able to get out of the pocket. Not saying he's not a pocket passer. Of course he is, and he can do that. But so many of his big plays come outside the pocket, and that athleticism, that's not something Brady has ever relied on. Mm-hmm. So it's a different situation. And we're starting to see injuries catch up with him a little bit as well. How long do you think he can play in this league? I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he probably has. I think he still can play at a high level for another, 3-4 years. Although I think with him, this is the first time he's really missed time. He said, with the finger, but the cumulative effect of all the hits he's taken, I think could catch up to him. And where like you said, difference with Brady, where he was hasn't been hit all that much, and now where Russell probably has been hit a little bit more. So but I still think at least another 2-3 years, I think he'll still be at a high level.
And of course, one Buccaneers question for you. Obviously, you live here. You watch this team and what they're accomplishing. The win over the Falcons isn't going to shake the trees, but it's a team you can see starting to get right, starting to get healthy, and getting on a run here as they head down the stretch. And everybody's now talking about Belichick and Brady in the Super Bowl.
Right,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I really think it could be headed that way.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, I think the Bucs, like you say, that this kind of reminds me a little bit of last year, how late in the season everything kind of came together and they got on a roll, and I think that they're headed in that direction.
All right, my friend. So are you guys in Houston this week?
Yeah, in Houston. Yep.
Well, that's going to be a great atmosphere for football. How many people do you think can be there? About 8, 9 people?
Yeah, maybe 10. If it's,
counting assistant coaches.
Late rush.
Just the people that are paid to be there. Well, enjoy that one. We'll chat with you next week, my friend. Thanks, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Take care, JP.
James Petrylka from the booth, Fox Sports. All right, quick break. When we come back, a special treat. Former Buccaneer Ryan Nece is going to join us. He's got his 13th annual Power of Giving holiday party coming up on Thursday night, and even though it's been a while since he's played football, his impact in this community continues to roll on. It's an amazing story. We'll talk to the affable and wonderful Ryan Nece when we come back. Stay with us.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. Well, he didn't give them money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, done 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com. Hey, did you start a new gig, a little side hustle during COVID? Well, if you don't have business insurance, you could be risking your personal fortune. That's how it works. JP here for Italiano Insurance. That's right. If you don't have business insurance, you can get sued and lose everything you've worked for. Not a good idea. Is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you're having issues with your homeowner's insurance company, Christopher will represent you. And trust me, you need a lawyer, folks. If you have issues with stucco damage, storm damage, water intrusion, he's your man, Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. All right, we're going to welcome in another of our former Super Bowl champions today. He is the great Ryan Nece, played with the Bucs from 2002 to 2007. And is still giving back to the community here. His 13th annual Power of Giving holiday party coming up this week. And he joins us now, the great Ryan Nece. What's up, Ryan? How are you, my friend?
What's up, JP? Always good to talk with you, brother.
Hey, we had one of your teammates on, the great Bruce Gradkowski here moments ago.
I remember Bruce, but I never heard anybody say great Bruce Gradkowski.
Hey, we were just reminiscing about the 2006 game in the Meadowlands, which I believe you played in. With the wind was blowing 50 miles an hour like it was the other night at Buffalo, and Gruden had him throw it like 48 times that game. You remember that?
Literally the first time in my entire football career that I saw a football released from the hand of a quarterback and go horizontal across the field sideways because the wind just pushed it. It was unbelievable. It was ridiculous.
I think the Giants threw against you. You were probably hoping they'd throw the ball. I read through it like maybe 8 or 9 times that day. Probably a better idea. I don't know.
Yeah, probably smarter, but nevertheless, coach was creative. He was contrarian in a lot of the things he did. So
yes, he was.
Might as well try to push the ball down the field when they're stacking 8 in the box.
I guess, even if it's blowing 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So how are you doing, partner? You're a dad now. You got all kinds of things going on. What's happening with you?
I am a dad now. I got a 5-year-old son that's like 10 boys in one. It's
nice.
The best thing in the world, JP.
Oh,
I couldn't.
What a great age.
I couldn't be more excited to have a son, and just grateful that he has so much energy and life in him, and he keeps us youthful. And my wife and I, we try to keep up with him. Literally, I work out in the morning just so I can keep up with my son. And it's amazing and motivation. So, all is well, and, grateful that I got, spending time with family during the last few years because of COVID and slowing things down. I used to travel a lot, as you know. And so that's been really important for us, and work is going really well and keeping me on my toes in this tech world that I spend all my time in now. And at the same time, I get a chance to still enjoy football, and I get a chance to enjoy a lot of my friends that are still playing. A lot of friends, now I'm old enough, I got a lot of friends that are coaching and guys that are retired and going into the Hall of Fame. And so all things are good.
So have you been keeping your eye on this, on your former Bucs team and what's going on? Did you ever think you'd see this? Tom Brady and Gronk putting on a Buccaneers uniform, winning a Super Bowl in Raymond James Stadium. I mean, this is just insane. I mean, we're kind of used to it by now, but when you really think about it, the 2002 team winning a Super Bowl was amazing, obviously, what you guys did. But, this is just a whole nother chapter of this franchise. It's amazing to watch this guy play at 44.
It is a whole nother chapter. And what's amazing about it is I'll never forget, after he signed, I remember talking with a few of the folks up in the front office. And I said, what's been the biggest difference with Tom being on the team? And they said, well, they made everybody better. And I said, well, of course he did. He obviously brought his knowledge, experience, wisdom, and a commitment to excellence, and a resume of championships that any player would love to learn from and be around.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, no, Ryan, it's not just about the players being better. He's made our entire organization better.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, to be able to have that type of power and influence that he's, made not just the players that he plays with and aligns with and gets in the huddles with, JP, but coming in and bringing a sense of an accountability and a commitment level from the coaching staff to the front office to everybody around. And I, quite frankly, I bet you can feel it even in the media world,
Absolutely.
what he's done to the city. And so that's pretty damn powerful and pretty exciting. I couldn't be more happy for the fan base, because the best fan base in the country. And to get to enjoy this, I hope everybody's soaking it up, and they're selling out games, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Wikipedia right here, and it says you're 42 years old, which makes you 2 years younger than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you stopped playing in 2000.
Thanks for putting that out there, JP.
2008. You stopped playing in 2008, and you were yeah, he's still, and he's going to win the MVP. I mean, think about that. It's insane. And from a football standpoint, you watch these games and you see how he's playing, the accuracy, the velocity that he still throws with. I mean, from a football standpoint, do you marvel at what you see every week?
I marvel at it too. And I marvel at it when you watch other quarterbacks.
Right.
And there are other great quarterbacks playing, young guys. And you can see a distinct difference between the way Tom plays the position and really, quite frankly, almost every other quarterback out there. The way that he stands in the pocket, his composure, the way that he goes through his reads, the way that he releases the ball, the way that he escapes when he's in pressure and in pressured situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's unbelievable how exponentially better it is than everybody else. The ability to just sit in the pocket for that half a second longer, to not throw off your back foot, to plant your foot in the ground and deliver the ball and deliver it accurately. I mean, it's unbelievable. And to do it, to your point, at 44, I get it at 10 years ago, but do it at 44 and to win an MVP, people, we're going to take it for granted because it just seems so easy. He makes it look so effortless. And I promise, when it looks that effortless,
it's not
at that level. It's extraordinary. It's superb. I mean, you could just go with all the superlatives that are out there and keep talking about it, because it is that impressive.
Ryan Nece joining us here, former Buccaneer. I would use all those superlatives to describe your commitment to this community, which you haven't lived in for quite some time, but you still continue to give back through the Power of Giving Foundation and your foundation. The 13th annual holiday party, it is one of the top things on the social calendar here in Tampa Bay. Everybody talks about it. You're doing it again tomorrow night. Just talk a little bit about why you still continue to come back here and have a presence in this community and give back the way you do.
I've always been committed to people that give to me, right? And when I think about the coaches and family members and friends that have given to me in my life, I've always been committed to try to find ways to give back. And I'll never forget coming to Tampa from UCLA, didn't know where I was, didn't understand the city. JP was, a little wet behind the ears and green, trying to get my foot underneath me as a young rookie. It was the city that made me feel comfortable. It was the people in the city. It was the community that wrapped their arms around me and enabled me to make a home. And for that, I will forever be committed to the city of Tampa, because I believe in that city. It's a phenomenal city and it's a great place, and people have treated me so well. And so being able to give back and find ways to educate our young minds, our students that we work with in the Tampa Bay community, to teach them about the power of giving is something that's really important to us. And so one of the ways we do that, and obviously all nonprofits have to find ways to raise money. We're celebrating our 15th year. This is our 13th year for our holiday party. So not only does that make me feel old, but it just is a testament to the work that we do. And to your point, the holiday party is a great event. Everybody shows up. This year, we're changing it up. We're taking it to the JCC this year. We're bringing a casino into the holiday party.
I know, this is going to be
some
fun.
Gambling and some dice and some craps and cards. And we're going to make it fun, right? I mean, we all go to enough events around the year. Our time's precious. You want to go to things that you have a good time. You can take some good pictures. eat some good food and have some good drinks and make some memories. So that's what we strive for. And I know you've been plenty of times.
Yes.
So,
the best.
It's always a good time. So I appreciate your support over the years.
It's I'll never forget when you first started the Power of Giving. The dynamic of paying it forward is really, it's life changing, it's mind altering, and I think you sum it up in a very real way, and you've lived it. And if you could just give me a story or two about how this, the people that have, I know you just talked a little bit about it, but maybe if you have a real life story on how it's affected people, it's affected my life. It's just, it's a powerful thing. We've all seen the movie, Paying It Forward, but to see it really take hold in real life is a magical moment. You have a story you could share that might.
It's a great question,
that?
JP. I mean, there's two that come to mind when I think about what embodies what the Power of Giving is all about. First, it's the first story, and it's really not necessarily a story. It's the first question we ask all of our students when they join our program and come into it, and it's really the last question we ask them as well. It's, when's the last time you've asked a family member or friend, how can I help you today?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really think about that question and you think about asking that question with intention, without wanting anything in return, but to truly help JP, to truly help your mom, or to truly help your dad or brother or sister or friend or best, and to find ways when they say, hey, this is what I need, and deliver on that, I promise you can't help but feel something special inside of you.
Yep.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, a real life story, we actually take our students in between their junior year and senior year. We'll take them on a trip to help them go serve in other areas within the United States, and we've also gone abroad. One year we were in the Dominican Republic, and we took our students to go serve in the communities over in the Dominican, and we spent almost 9 days serving in the community. On the last day, our students had this most unbelievable experience after serving the community after 9 days, building baseball fields, building recreation facilities, building schools for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, working day and night. We watched the individuals in the community come and serve alongside us. Not only were we helping them, they were helping us because they were serving with us. They were out there with their shovels, with hammers, working with us, and our students were blown away that they had nothing, but yet they still wanted to find ways to help us accomplish what we wanted to do. And on the last day, all the community came out to say goodbye to us and thank us for the work that we did there. And many of the individuals that had been working with us during that time, JP, they didn't have even shoes on, right? And they didn't have just some of the things we were taking for granted. And on the last day, as they were thanking us and crying and laughing and enjoying the moment, many of them didn't have shoes. One of our students took off their shoes and gave them to one of the individuals there. And then all of a sudden, another student, and then another student, and then all the staff, and then all of us. And we all gave away literally all the things that we had on us to these community that was loving on us, and we were trying to love on them back. And it literally gives me chills as I think about that story, as we got onto the bus with no shoes and nothing on. and it was just such a powerful moment, because that wasn't part of the mission. That was a student that said, I see somebody in need and I got to do something about it. I got to do it right now. And I got to do whatever I can. What do I have? I have my own shoes I'm going to give. And then the ripple effect of that. And so that's a real life story that, motivates me to continue to try to find ways to create those experiences in my life and those experiences for others.
Man, that is a powerful story, bro. That is amazing. It's just, that is the personification of just giving everything you have to others who are in need. And I guarantee you, everybody that happened to that day, like you, everybody that was in your group will never forget that moment. That will be an indelible mark on their souls. And it's been with them forever. And that is paying it forward. You gave them the opportunity to do so. They did it, and it changed all their lives. I guarantee it. And
you're
I'm
spot on.
Yeah.
It's so amazing that we actually still see a lot of our alumni, and they've gone to college and gone to have great careers, and they come back and I see them. It's one of the first things. Why, remember when we were in the Dominican? Remember that time?
Yeah.
And it's literally, it's to your point, it's almost tattooed on their brain and the memory. And that's what we have to do. And that's when it touches you like that on your inside, it's so, it's so moving. You can't help but want to find other ways to do that, JP. And I know you already do so much for the community as well. And, you know, a great man that you and I were very friends with, that I thought that every time I talked with him, I thought he embodied the power of giving, was a gentleman named Ron Alejandro. He used to be a GM in Weston.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
Great
human
man.
being that just always spoke with such grace and gave every time that he was in your presence. And it was amazing to be around those types of human beings. And so I again, you know, these are the things that I get excited about. And obviously there are a lot of great organizations in the city of Tampa that do amazing metropolitans. We partner with them a lot. And so please, whether it's coming to our event tomorrow night, whoever's listening, you know, take this time during the holidays to find ways to support your friends and family. And then beyond, if you can help support the community, it'll make a huge difference. Because right now there are a lot of people out there that are in need.
No doubt. Great stuff there, Ryan. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, and look forward to catching up with you tomorrow night. And again, thank you so much for all you do in the community and the entire concept of paying it forward and the power of giving. It's awesome stuff. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
Thanks, JP. Thanks, Steve, for being a part of my team. And anybody else that wants to be in our huddle, come join us. We'll be ready. We'll be partying tomorrow night and having a great time. So look forward to seeing everybody. Take care. God bless.
Thanks. Ryan Nece right there. Man, what a powerful story. Wasn't expecting that today, but that is it's one you won't forget. That's for sure. We try to bring that to you here. All right. Quick break. When we come back, the great Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us. And you won't soon forget that finish of the Lightning game last night. That was pretty damn cool, too. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. 3-minute break. Stay with us.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. Well, he didn't give them money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, to 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. A pound, half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. It goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on a 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood. Get to the Black Rock. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. And I want to talk about the experience that you get at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's just different. First of all, when you walk in, there are one-of-a-kind collections that you won't find anywhere else. You'll see some of the best designers only at the Gold and Diamond Source. And every diamond is hand-selected by Steve for rarity, purity, and beauty. That's a big, big deal. He's an expert in the business, been doing this over 30 years. So you're going to get the best diamonds at the best prices. They also offer in-house custom design jewelry. If you want to design something yourself, you can do that. And guys, are you looking for that baller watch, that great Rolex watch? They've got a fantastic selection of pre-owned Rolex watches for great prices. So go check them out.
The great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. Will close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005. Go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
Fanstream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com. All right, let's talk some hockey with our good friend Bobby, the Chief Taylor, Valley Sports Sun Lightning analyst. What's up, Chief? Happy holidays, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, JP. Same wishes to you as well.
Yes. Is Santa going to bring you a new driver?
You know, buddy, you should say that. He is.
I knew it. I know. You don't need wedges. I know you don't need wedges because those things are magic in your hand. I've seen you at work, my friend, and I hear you're playing some good golf lately. I've got that's the scuttlebutt. It's all over social media, taking money from everybody.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I think I still haven't gotten close to beating Peckham though.
Oh, no, that's not what he says. He says you're beating the pants off him. So you guys are very humble. See, if I was winning, everyone would know. Everyone would know. Trust me. But I'm not. I don't tell those stories anymore. So, hey, how about that finish last night? That was kind of a nice little holiday gift by the Lightning. It's becoming as I put on Twitter last night, they're ripping the hearts out of everybody on this road trip. Boston fan, Philly fan, Montreal, you're next. This is awesome.
I know. Tonight or tomorrow night's going to be a more difficult one because they got Toronto's got some great finishers, so they can't give up as many wide open shots as they have in the past. But one thing that I've been impressed with this road trip is that we've been kind of wondering where that third line was going to come from.
Yep.
Like the Coleman, Goodrow, and Barkley Plager, I was going to say, and Yanni Gord. Yeah. And you know what? It's been a combination of the young guys and the Pat Maroon, Belmar, and Corey Perry line. Think about it. They've scored 10 goals in their last 2 games. 5 have come from that line.
Wow.
Of Belmar, Maroon, and Perry. And so, and the kid lines played pretty well against the Flyers as well. Of course, everybody did. Philly's really struggling, but nonetheless, usually when you get in those games, still your big guns that get you the goals. It's that line and I hate when we say that. It's the third and fourth line is the guys that have been carrying the last 2 games as far as offense is concerned.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we look at these young kids, and how about I didn't know that whole story about Radish and Kachuk. I mean, that's like the old Marty St. Louis, Eric Perrin. They play their hockey together their whole life, and they come up, and then here they are in the NHL scoring their first goal at 24 hours within each other. I mean, what a story that is, huh?
Oh, it really is. It's rare does that happen. Yeah. I mean, here they played, and they finally got to play junior in their final year at junior as well together, and that's it's something because every kid that grows up in Canada for sure dreams about playing in the National Hockey League, and every spring you play in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and every game that you play in your backyard or in your rumpus room or out on the street corner. It's the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, So you have a guy coming with you since you've been a kid and dreaming of those dreams, and then realizing your dream. That's special. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, and the chemistry that these guys are starting to play with this kid line. I mean, they're not only are they starting to score now, but they're getting great energy and zone time. I know the Lightning have been probably outplayed in a couple of these games, but their resiliency to finish games. I mean, I was watching the game last night. I'm like, they're going to win this game. Even though, they pull the goalie, Perry scores, and then, boy, that Palat goal. Wow, what a piece of skill that was. You just have this feeling that they're going to win, and guess what? So do they. And that's the key.
That's the big difference, and I think that's what's helped the kid line, too. When they finally started to score, they started to realize that their work has paid off for them, and it's such a different game up at this level. And it is with every other sport that has minor leagues, and which mainly is just baseball. But, it's so different when you get to the highest level and the best league that you to play in. It's not so much your ability to run or your ability to skate or your ability to catch or your ability to shoot, whatever the case may be. It's just how well do you think? How fast can you think? How smart are you? How good are you at anticipating what's going to happen? How quickly can you anticipate it's going to be happening? That's the biggest thing. And these kids have starting to do it. Now they're starting to understand what we talk about. It's not so much your physical ability to play at this level. It's how well you think at this level and how quickly you can conform and to adjust at this level. Because, most of these guys, JP, when they come out of junior hockey, just like in college in football or baseball, they're the best players on their team, and they're the best players probably in their division or in their athletic conference. But when you get up there, you're playing against the best players of their athletic conference, of their team, and their division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the level of competition has elevated itself. So you have to find ways to adjust what you can or cannot do. One of the stories that really is a great one for me is, remember Terry Crisp, who was our first coach here at the Lightning?
Yeah, Crispy.
Terry, when he played in junior hockey, he was the top scorer in the OHL, which is the Ontario Hockey League, which was one of the premier hockey league junior leagues in the country. And that's where most of your big stars came from. And he was a top scorer there. And he was automatically Boston property because he played for a Boston-sponsored team, but he got drafted by the St. Louis Blues in the original draft. And Scotty Bowen was the coach there. Now here's this big offensive player in his junior days, and you kind of think of yourself that way too when you're coming up. Scotty Bowman pulled him aside and said, "If you don't learn how to play defense, you'll never play in this hockey league." And guess what? He made that adjustment. He was smart enough to make the adjustment. He became one of the better defensive forwards in his whole career. And he had to play 12, 14 years as a player, but he was mainly a defensive shutdown forward. And he had to go from a high scoring guy to get all the glory to one of those, so we call, or Giuliani would call, the plumber that has to play hard, play defense, and play the 200-foot line. And that's the key. And these kids are starting to figure it out because they were pretty good scorers in junior. Now they're understanding that for them to stay, they've got to play that solid defensive game. And the more you play defensively, the more you get a chance offensively. And that's the key thing about this whole league.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. Great insight right there, my friend. And that's kind of how the Lightning are, they're going to win a lot of these games because they have the best goalie in the game. But this roster is just so depleted right now. And to see them banking points like this, I mean, it's amazing. And I don't know if we kind of expect, it's the Lightning, they go out and win. This is not the Lightning of last year. This team we put on the ice, it's not even close. I mean, you look at the names that are filling the roster now. I mean, more than half of these players are different from last year right now. So this is quite an accomplishment. And I think it speaks to the coaching staff and the leadership on this team too. The guys that have been around for a while, the Hedmans, the Sorellis, these guys, the Killorns, and they're not only producing. I mean, Hetty had a tremendous week last week, but I think they're just leading these guys. And it's kind of, I really liken the Lightning to the Bucks. They just have this great organizational confidence right now and great leadership that it doesn't matter how many guys they lose. The guys that come in step up, and they know that there's a certain expectation that they have to play to, whether it be defensively, effort, whatever it is, and they're getting the job done. I think that's we got to tip our cap to those guys.
Oh, big time. And for me, it's Julian Brisebois. I mean, think about this. This is a very tough time in hockey because of the cap situations for everybody. And the more you win, the more that cap goes up for you because, if you're a player making $1 million, you win 2 Stanley Cups. Hey, I'm worth $3 million. So, this is the whole thing, is keeping a solid roster together. But bringing in guys like Belmar and Corey Perry, those guys that Bogosian, Brack, these guys understand the league and they want to win. They've been in the league a long time. And the biggest thing now is winning. Yeah. They've made some pretty good money throughout their careers, and they've been at the top of the heap for a while. They're like Corey Perry's been an MVP, and he's been a Rocket Richard for the best goal scorer trophy and all that. But he's won 1 cup with Dallas, and those are the things that you think about as you've been in the league and is championships.
Yeah.
And he is able to get that kind of character to come back in and fill in. And
You know what? And you know what happens too? Like when that bubble kind of helped them in a way, because now you had Radish, you had Kachuk, you had Barbelet, you know, you got Gumel Smith, who has yet to play yet. These guys that are waiting in the wings, they've been around the team for these years, and they've been, as everybody calls them in hockey, the Black Aces, you know, because they don't get to play. But they see what it takes to win. They see what these guys have to do to be at the top of the heap. And that really opens up their eyes. And that's the key thing about it. It's just understanding what you have to do. And they've done a great job of that. And Julian's done a tremendous job. I mean, to manage the cap, you know, everybody cries and blows and sees how he cheated, you know, with Kucherov. And that's a bunch of crap, you know, because Boston did that. It really is. I mean,
Chicago
boy,
did
I'd like
it.
to come
Boston
up and
did it.
strangle those Canadian
Whatever.
newspaper guys, you know, and reporters, because they have no idea. And, you know, Chicago did the same thing in 2015 with Patrick Kane, and nobody
absolutely
made a peep out of it.
If they don't like it, change the rules. They've had plenty of time to change the rules since Kane did it. I mean, if they don't like it, change it. Every team can do what the Lightning did, and it's not like it was manipulated. That's how long the injury takes to heal. I mean,
exactly.
It is what it is.
He's just a super talent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he comes back. Everybody was shocked at how good he was. You know,
when he came
I was
right
shocked at how good he was, because
Yeah.
you missed the whole year and you come out and it looks like he never even missed a beat. But that's done a tremendous job. And you're right, the coaching staff have done a pretty good job. You know, when you watch them day in and day out and you see certain things that you'd like to see improve, you get a little upset. Well, you know, I do.
Of course.
They've done a great job. Yeah, JP, you sat with me a number of
It's their
times. You know
job.
how
Yes, they're not
upset
perfect.
I
but,
get during that game, but you know, they've done a tremendous job to be able to fill in guys and to put the right combinations together and have the courage to keep them together. That's the big difference. You know, when we lost all those guys, you know, he Ross Colton got the game-winning goal. Everybody thought that, man, he might be the number 2 center net, and he was struggling. He was playing well, but nothing was working for him.
Right.
Let's put him with the kids, and that's what was the impetus. Those guys just kind of took off, and they stayed with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I go back to the early years of this. You know, I remember when Kuch was coming up. He got benched in those playoffs against that Montreal
That's
that one
right.
year, and for Cedric Paquette, because he wouldn't play the 200-foot game. And they told him, if you play better defensively, we'll play you more and more. And gosh, look what we got now.
Yeah.
You know, we got one of the best players ever. And for me, well, I wouldn't say ever, but you know, of the decade anyway, he's that good.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's not so much about. It's about how well you play in your own end, because as we know, JP, and everybody that's watched this game on a regular basis, you know, when you score goals and all that, that's really good. It fills the stadiums and everything. But if you're going to win championships, and I don't care what sport it is,
yep,
if you don't play defense, you don't win.
That's the magic. That's the magic part of it. All right. Well, partner, I hope you have a great holiday season. You got any big plans for the Christmas season? So I'm watching the Lightning win.
We got our kids are coming in from LA.
Nice.
We got them a puppy. They bought a puppy, so guess who's housebreaking the puppy? And we babysitting the puppy every day.
What kind of puppy?
You got it. I am.
What kind of puppy?
Golden. Golden retriever. He's a cutie, but he thinks I'm his human chew toy. You know, I look like the man with the golden arm with all these scars and bite marks all over my arm.
Those little puppy teeth, man. Those little puppy teeth. They got to chew on something. Better you than the couch or the rug.
I know. I think I've turned him into a vampire because he's tasted my blood so much.
Not only giving a puppy is good enough, but housebreaking the puppy too. But that's commitment. That's commitment. That's real. That's a gift.
I know.
You go through that, you keep the damn dog. As far as I'm concerned, you let them housebreak the damn thing.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Chief. Good stuff. Hey, I'm going to send you a picture of my dog, Tally the Wonder Dog, who keeps watching us here while we do the show. Working really, really hard this morning. Wait till you see. I'm going to post it on social as well, so you'll love it. All right, my friend. We'll chat with you down the line. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Great, Bobby the Chief Taylor right there. Happy holidays. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I got to get to the Rays today. Big meeting yesterday with Jane Castor, and I actually saw Brian Auld and Matt Silverman yesterday, and they didn't even say hello. Can you believe that? I'll tell you that story when we come back. Stay with us.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You've got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. We didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, got 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. A pound, half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. And it goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood, get to the Black Rock. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. And I want to talk about the experience that you get at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's just different. First of all, when you walk in, there are one-of-a-kind collections that you won't find anywhere else. You'll see some of the best designers only at the Gold and Diamond Source. And every diamond is hand-selected by Steve for rarity, purity, and beauty. That's a big, big deal. He's an expert in the business, been doing this for over 30 years. So you're going to get the best diamonds at the best prices. They also offer in-house custom design jewelry. If you want to design something yourself, you can do that. And guys, are you looking for that baller watch, that great Rolex watch? They've got a fantastic selection of pre-owned Rolex watches for great prices. So go check them out. And every Gold and Diamond Source piece comes with the most elegant packaging, including lighted gift boxes. That's the new rage. That's going to wow your girl. So guys, get on down to the Gold and Diamond Source and get this rare experience. It's the best in the business. Tampa Bay's family jeweler for generations.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Got a lot of stuff to get to. We've had so many guests today. Great guests. Really appreciate all the guys coming on today. If you missed anything, you can obviously tap that app, and it'll start the show right from the beginning at any time. You can also listen on Apple and Spotify. We're up on YouTube now. You can watch on Twitter and Facebook. So many ways to get the show. So we really appreciate you checking in with us. And the numbers are growing exponentially each and every week because we're bringing you really, really good content. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And huge thanks to our sponsors, the Golden Diamond Source, which, by the way, it's holiday time. My man here, Nick Geddes, has got already got his engagement out of the way. Got the whole ring experience. It's worked out well. This first going to be your first Christmas as a engaged man. Don't F it up. I'm so inspiring, aren't I?
If planning this engagement party is any indication, it's going to be a long year planning away.
It's the beginning, my friend. But hey, the Golden Diamond Source can help you. They've got great gift ideas, super sales going on right now. If you live in Tampa, it's just a short 20-minute drive right over. Get right off on Ulmerton there, and it's right there on your left. It's so easy to get to, and they got their own huge parking lot there, so you don't have to fight the crowds at the mall. And by the way, why are you going to go to a mall, to some national store, and besides a local company that gives back to your community? I mean, we talk about the power of giving. You know, the folks at the Golden Diamonds, Julian Weintraub, their community charitable efforts have just been off the charts for years and years and years. And so we always tell you, give back to these local companies that give back to your community. Complete the circle. It's what it's all about. It's holiday time, right? And whether you're looking for a first-time diamond or a 10-carat custom design, they have 9 jewelers in-house that will custom design anything you want. So if you have a great idea and exactly what you want, they'll custom design it. You don't have to. Plus, they've got the biggest and best selection, so that's also there for you. They offer layaway, 0% interest-free financing up to 5 years. So if you think you got to bring in a load of cash to get an engagement ring, you don't have to do that. You know, $40, $50, $60 a month will get you a tremendous ring, and they'll do the financing for you right there. Very, very easy. And they'll present it in a beautiful box, beautiful gift wrap. They do it all for you there, and the experience is just amazing. I hate shopping because, I got to make decisions. I never know what to get. They'll take care of all of that for you. So just make it easy on yourself. Go to the Golden Diamond Source. Tell them JP sent you. They'll hook you up great. And you can always shop online at thegoldendiamond.com as well. Great folks over there. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamond.com. All right. So yesterday, the Rays met with Mayor Castor. And while the Mayor Castor has not spoke about anything, there were no quotes in the Times about it. They basically said we're waiting on details, and that was the only quote that came out from her spokesperson. And of course, the Rays went out and made their statement and said the great to have the mayor's support of the sister city idea. Well, I didn't see any quotes from her saying she's supporting the sister city idea exclusively. Did you? I did not. So I think that's probably more from the Rays standpoint. Next time we get a chance to talk to the mayor, and we've talked to her before, she says she's interested at the idea, but would much rather have the Rays here full time. So that wasn't part of the Rays statement. So again, not certainly being completely transparent. Now, another thing came out yesterday. This was a report up in Montreal from Le Presse, a very extensive report on what's happening up there in Montreal. And a couple of things I took from this article after reading it in French, because I am fluent in French, or I got the Google translation. A couple of things we took. Number one, this is the first time that Bronfman has asked for public money, and the response was tepid at best. The mayor just got reelected. Mayor Plant is on record as saying she is not in favor of using any public money for the construction of a baseball stadium. The other officials that were quoted in the piece basically saying, we will give you only what you put back into the system. So in other words, if you're going to generate $70 million in tax money from the players' salaries over the years, we'll give you that money. If you're going, whatever the estimates are in terms of bringing in foreign money, because all the Rays fans are going to travel up to Montreal to watch the Rays play up there. Okay, sure. Some will if it were to come to fruition. Sure, some of that would happen, but I don't see this, mass exodus of people leaving their New York, their North Carolina and Colorado summer homes to go up to Montreal when they, maybe watched a couple of games in the new stadium in Ybor City. from what we're hearing, the local politicians are certainly talking to the Rays about, a plan to do part-time and full-time, but are much more focused on the full-time situation. Again, when we get to talk to Mayor Castor, we'll get her feeling. And I have a very good feeling that in the next month or so, you're going to see a large contingent of local businessmen talking about what we've been talking about. Do not outlay any public money unless it's going to be a full-time stadium. And I've come to the realization that this part-time sister city thing, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to sell here in Tampa Bay. And if we spend public money on a stadium, it's not going to work, and we're all going to look like idiots. And being the first quote market to not be able to handle a baseball team full time is not a moniker that you want to put on your ever growing and increasing marketplace. I mean, here you got Jeff Vinnick doing Water Street downtown, and this incredible momentum that the Tampa Bay area has moving forward. There are companies moving here every day. This happening. We're growing in a tremendous direction. To basically come out and say, and admit and bow down to Stu Sternberg and say, oh, we're not good enough to be a full-time baseball city is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous. And there's no reason for it. They're the only ones that are pushing this. They're the only ones that are for it. The people in Montreal don't want it. And here's another little nugget I picked up. You know what they're calling the team up there? The Expos Rays. I haven't heard Stu mention anything about that. The Expos, that's how they refer to them up there, as the Expos Rays. So when they go to Montreal, are they going to be wearing uniforms that say Expos?
They might.
I bet they are. I bet that's the plan. If you were going to, if you're Bronfman and you want to brand your team,
there's no way this is
going to wake up the Echoes.
Is this really real world right now? The Expo Rays?
Yeah, the Expo Rays.
The Expo Rays.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you heard a lot of Stu talk about that part of it?
No,
I have not either.
Nothing. Nothing on
interesting. That. Shocking development, as we like to say here. Shocking development. How you like that, Rays fans? Your team is now the Expo Rays. Like that? No, I don't think I'm buying that. So again, there is no groundswell of this, that Stu would want you to believe that the people in Montreal are gaga over this. And Bronfman, has never asked for public money until now. And he said several $100 million is what they're looking for. It's a $1 billion overall development in the Peel Basin. He's looking for several $100 million. And that's not happening. There is no public support for that at all. The public support in Canada is about affordable housing. And, to take, land, precious land that the government owns down there to build a baseball stadium, they're going to have to make a really, really, really impressive pitch that this is going to be a good expenditure of public money while it's taking up land that could be used for affordable housing. So from a political standpoint, this Rays baseball, and then you're telling them we're going to do that for half a season. It's not palatable politically up there. It's not palatable politically down here. It's not palatable to the Major League Baseball Players Association. Again, the only people that are supporting this are the groups there where Stu Sternberg is on the board of that Chamber of Commerce, or their people or their representatives are, or there are no fan bases clamoring for this. None of them. The only people that will support this are the people that say, we'll have better than nothing. It's a false choice, folks. It's a false choice. Stu Sternberg needs this marketplace. First of all, he's already cut a television deal here. He's already got an advance on that television deal here. How's he going to leave this? And you think the people that signed the television deal that gave him $400 million that he allegedly moved into another company and kept away from his other partners and refuses to give any income to them from that, you think those people or say, sure, yeah, abandon your market. That'll really help our ratings here. No, it's not happening. So anyway, I continue to assure you that the latest developments, anything that's happened, not positive for the sister city plan. And I think it's only going to get worse for Stu. And there's no question that all signs point towards a stadium being built at the old K4 site. The government is already moving forward with transportation, multi-million-dollar transportation throughways, pedestrian ways to get people to this downtown stadium. Everything says that there's going to be a stadium built in Ybor, and there's no groundswell for that not being a full-time stadium. So I think that's where we're at right now. Other news, we talked a lot about yesterday about Vince Tyree, the possible new AD at Florida State. Well, that deal was supposed to be consummated yesterday at noon, and it was not. So I do know that there is some pause by the search committee as to this hiring. And again, I have nothing personal against Mr. Tyree. I'm just simply echoing the sources that I have talked to that are not big fans of his, that work within the department and that have worked with him. His support up there is waning. They have taken no action against him. He has a non-compete, and the sources tell me that the president said we will not enjoin him from, even though he has a 1-year non-compete to go to another ACC school, they're going to let him out of it. So if they're going to just let him walk and there's no groundswell to keep the guy up there, why in the world would FSU be moving so quickly to get this guy? There's nobody's beating down his door to take him away. His inexperience in his resume. I mean, we can listen. I've heard from people that think he's the greatest guy in the world. Some of his childhood friends that I've talked to, very good sources that think he's the greatest guy in the world. And there are other guys, people that have worked for him that don't like him. And that's not unusual, especially when you got to cut people during COVID. They had to fire like 80 people. You're not going to be very popular. I get that. But his effectiveness within the department is what I'm talking about. And people don't believe he's a good fundraiser. I know there's a lot of people talking about he's connected to money. He hasn't been able to bring that money to Louisville. They're in terrible financial shape. So, you look at by any measure, that program has gone downward since he got there. And Florida State should be looking guys that have elevated their program and have tremendous resumes and well-connected people. He's been an AD for 3 years. He comes from the business world. So more than anything, his lack of experience and connections in this very important time of possible super conference expansion or SEC expansion, you got to have guys that are well-connected. This is not that guy. And again, I have nothing personal against the guy. I don't know him. People have said great things about him. A lot of people said very bad things about him. It's not, you don't have to hire this guy. And there are so many better candidates out there. I just wish that FSU would do their due diligence. And I know they have to some degree, but I think they could probably do more. And we'll see what happens. At this point, the rumors are out that the deal is done, and he's accepted it. That was supposed to happen yesterday, and it didn't. So we'll see what goes there. Anything else we missed here, partner? Our last 30 seconds. Great show. Thanks so much for the guests today that came on. Ryan Nece, Bobby the Chief Taylor, Bruce Gradkowski, James Petrylka, our friend from the U, John Michaels. Great show. If you missed anything, you got to go back and listen to this one, folks. It's a humdinger, as they like to say. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. More fun and frivolity. We'll see you then.